Welcome back, everybody. It's Talking Sports, getting ready for college football on this Saturday. Hope that you're settled in and ready to go. If not, Alabama's, of course, in Oxford. If you're not going down to Auburn tonight for the big LSU and Auburn game, the place to be is Birmingham Greyhound Racing. Legend, just a fantastic setup for these games. We have a huge crowd for Alabama and Auburn fans, but there's plenty of room for everybody. Giant drive-in size HD screens. It is just an outstanding place to watch the games.
Yeah, if you're a player and you're in the Birmingham area, you can't get all the way to Mississippi, you can't get all the way somewhere else. Birmingham Racecourse is the place to be. Vegas style, parlays, getting down, winning big out there. If you can pick football and you love to bet, Birmingham Racecourse is the place to be, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's focus on Alabama and Auburn. We'll start with the Tide. Alabama today over in Oxford against Ole Miss, a spot that's been troublesome in recent years, but that was in the Hugh Freeze era. This is the Matt Luke situation. Ole Miss not exactly rolling into this game off a fantastic performance. They had their home opener last week after a really impressive road win at Texas Tech to start the year. But I looked at one point in the third quarter, and I think the score was 41-35, Ole Miss against Southern Illinois. The Salukis.
Ooh, it's a Salukis.
Now,
almost
come on.
them.
We can get the group we've got right here doing the show. We could give the Salukis a competitive game if we suited up right now. Ole Miss wound up surrendering 42 points in that game, I think, 76-42. The offense looked good, but if the Salukis can ring up 42, what the heck are the Tide going to do to them today?
Well, this is going to be an ugly game, ladies and gentlemen, if you're an Ole Miss fan. I said it several years ago. If you beat Alabama 2 years in a row, it should be an automatic NCAA investigation, ladies and gentlemen. And now that Ole Miss don't have $1 million offensive tackle and a $500,000 wide receiver to throw the ball to, and they've sorted back to the Black Bears, Land Sharks, Rebels,
whatever they are,
whatever the hell they are. I mean, Alabama minus 21. This game's over by halftime. This is where you get that money to buy that diamond you've been needing to buy that woman right here. Go ahead and take Alabama. Give up the 21 and take the over in this game. Ole Miss will score about 14 on that young secondary, but look for Alabama to put up about 65 in this game and blow them away here, Kip.
We talked about, if you saw one of our earlier segments this year, we talked about things to look for when you're betting games. This over-under at 71, I agree with the legend because we talked about if the team that doesn't figure to win still has an offense that can score points, it's good to go over because I can't imagine a scenario in this game where Alabama doesn't put up at least 48 points.
Yeah, Tua's going to get 5 touchdowns. You heard it right here. He takes a major step forward to New York where he belongs. Jalen will probably get 2 or 3. Matt Jones will probably get 3 touchdowns here too. The Waterboro will get a couple too. Hell, I might even get in the game. Kip get a touchdown in this one. Alabama big, ladies and gentlemen. This is where you get your bills paid right here.
Maybe the game of the week in the SEC is happening down on the Plains. We sat here last week and gave LSU and the Cookie Monster their props for just a beatdown on the Miami Hurricanes that first week. LSU kind of came back to form last week, had a listless win at home against one of the directional Louisiana schools, but now they travel to Auburn. Auburn off to a good start with that good win on the first weekend against Washington. They mauled, of course, Alabama State last week. The line on this thing's pretty hefty, 9.5. I'm kind of surprised it's that many, and the over-under just 45. So the folks in the desert are expecting a defensive struggle.
Yeah, I like Auburn in this game. This is a great Auburn defense. This Auburn team with Big Cat, Brown up front, Williams at linebacker, this is a team that is dominant on the defensive side of the ball. They got some shortcomings, particularly in the running game, but Jarrett Stidham is as good as any quarterback in the nation, a surefire, day one NFL draft pick in Jarrett Stidham. LSU looked good against Miami, but Miami's way polluted, way overrated, that was a big mistake. Top 40 team, not a top 10 team. They look good there, but LSU will have problems running the ball. They will become one-dimensional. Look for a defensive struggle here in Auburn to win this game, 23-7. Take the Auburn Tigers right here. Give up the 9.5 points, Kip.
I like that because it's, we talked about matching up the individual units. The strength of both these teams is clearly the defensive front. LSU just absolutely overwhelmed the offensive line of Miami, and I suspect that that's going to be the case again on both sides of the ball. It comes down to who's the better quarterback that can take advantage of some opportunities. You got to like Stidham over the inexperienced Joe Burrow, who did play well against Miami, but he is really the key to the game for LSU because he's facing a big test here.
Well, you got Bazard at running back. He's had a couple 100-yard game for LSU, but I don't see LSU being a two-dimensional team. I see the Cookie Monster resurfacing here. And when I say the Cookie Monster, I'm talking about somebody that does not really belong at an elite program like LSU.
What are you talking about?
Well, he belongs, but just not at the elite program like LSU. You need an elite coach, and he's an average coach. You're average coach, Coach O. Average coach, Coach O. There you go. I get it. 54-72. I get it out. I got Tourette's, ladies and gentlemen. 54 Tourette's. It's acting up on me again. But Auburn big in this game. I like Auburn. And this Auburn team, I really think they're as good as Alabama and Georgia, possibly headed down the stretch. They look to be the biggest competition Alabama may have.
Yeah, they got to get the running game going, and then they're right on that level. We got to go to a break. When we come back, we'll look at the other major matchups in the SEC, maybe even around the country. Stay with us. This is Talkin' Sports with Kip and the Legend.